Do you feel like you always have to say yes? That you're on a hamster wheel at work, at home, doing everything that everybody asks? And do you feel exhausted by that? Well, that is common. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. Hi, I'm Joe, and this is Dream With Us. Welcome back. This morning, I was reading a chapter out of a book called Building a Non-Anxious Life by Dr. John Delony. I'll leave a link in the description below. A passage that he wrote this morning in this section, this chapter called Choose Freedom, resonated with me today, and I thought about it a lot throughout the day, and I'd like to share it with you. He says, I said yes to everything because saying no felt like failing myself and everyone I was trying to please. I carried so much guilt and shame around having boundaries. I didn't have any. I convinced myself the world needed me. And I think this resonated with me for a number of reasons. I think part of it is that, we often feel like we're getting on that hamster wheel every day. And when someone asks us to do something to help them out, we feel like it's our duty to jump in and do the problem solving. And if we don't, sometimes we feel like we're failing them, particularly if it's a loved one. Or at work, if our boss or supervisor comes and says, hey, I'd like you to take on this project, or would you do this for us? It can feel like you're slacking if you say no. He goes on to say, we're peacekeepers, making sure everyone else is taken care of before we bother to ask ourselves how we're doing and what we need. It's exhausting. And again, I think many of us can resonate with this sense of exhaustion, with this feeling that like if we don't take on something that somebody asks us to take on, we're failing themselves and failing them and failing ourselves. And the reality is we need to set boundaries. He says, this means taking responsibility for saying clearly what you need. Love people enough not to force them to be mind readers. Own the things that bring you joy. Only then can you be the greatest value to the rest of the world. And again, many of us want to be people pleasers, want to say yes, want to be helpful, want to give more, and that is fantastic. But you also have to know when you're giving too much, when your body is drained, when you need to settle down a little bit, find your own peace. Delany goes on to say, setting limits and boundaries is a way we can finally be free to do the messy work of connecting through love and friendship. Limits and boundaries let our bodies know where we are in time and space, and they give us room to make sure our needs are met. And so again, as we go through our day, as demands are placed on us, we need to set those boundaries so that we can have peace, so that we can be available for others, to give them our best selves, and to love them more fully. Because if we're drained, if we're exhausted, we can't really give the best version of ourselves. And in order to kind of set these boundaries, we have to learn to say no. And that's very hard for some of us. In order to begin setting some boundaries, Delany in his book suggests that you need to think about some very tough questions. One is, what do you need to be well? What do you need to be healthy, happy, your best version of yourself? Think about those and think about the answers to those questions. The other question he suggests we ask is what and who drains us? And who should we spend more or less time with? Sometimes when we're setting boundaries, we need to let some people go, put some distance between us and those who are draining our energy. Sometimes they can be friends who we've known for years, and they may not understand the new space that we need. But Delany also asks, what characteristics, what traits do the people you do not like to be around or that drain your energy have in common? And I think that's an important component as well. Can you identify those traits that people who drain you have? And why are you attracted to them? Why are they in your lives? What space are they filling? And can you release that so that you can have more time and space and energy for yourself? The other thing that Delany asks is who challenges you? Who cares about you deeply? And what do they bring to the table? And what do you bring to that relationship harmony, the relational harmony? And beginning to set boundaries is one step to getting off that hamster wheel of reclaiming your energy, your spirit, your best version of yourself so that you can be generous with the time that you have with people who support you, love you, energize you, bring you harmony, bring you closer to your true self. Until next time, thanks for watching, and remember to dream with us.